Hello students, today we are going to do your chapter 2 of your superb English grammar book of class 6, the sentence. Now students, in this topic I have tried to explain the basis of sentences by giving you a lot of examples by which you can clear your concepts about sentences and how to identify a sentence with lot of examples. Now children, the basis of grammar as we know is based on 8 parts of speech. What are the 8 parts of speech children? They are noun, pronoun, adjective, verb, adverb, prepositions, conjunctions, interjunctions, and the basis of grammar is also on sentence formation, which is your main topic of today. Now, children, what is a sentence? A sentence is a group of words with at least one finite verb that makes complete sense or meaning and expresses a complete thought. So first we need to understand sentence होता क्या है. एक सेंटेंस एक ग्रुप ऑफ वर्ड्स से बनता है जिसमें एटलीस्ट वन फाइनाइट वर्ब है. अब आप पूछेंगे फाइनाइट वर्ब का मतलब क्या है. व्हाट इज अ फाइनाइट वर्ब? चिल्ड्रन, अ फाइनाइट वर्ब इज अ वर्ब विच हैज अ सब्जेक्ट एंड इट शोज सम टेंस. सो उस वर्ब में हमें एक सब्जेक्ट होना चाहिए, मतलब किसके बारे में हम बात कर रहे हैं वो होना चाहिए, एंड इट शुड ऑल्सो शो tense. That means a finite verb is a verb which has a subject and shows tense. Now verbs are words that show action. That means what is happening in the sentence is shown by verbs. Now children, one thing which is very important to note is in every sentence the subject must have a verb. First thing is that every meaningful sentence should have a subject and that subject should have a verb. Otherwise it is not considered a sentence. Sentence का कुछ मतलब होना चाहिए. If it doesn't make any sense, it is not a sentence. So sentence को मतलब कौन सी चीज देती है? एक subject और उसके साथ होना चाहिए एक verb जो action दिखाता है. So verb is the most essential part of a sentence. verb हमको क्या क्या दिखाता है sentence के बारे में? एक action, एक state of being or an occurrence. Now I will give you a few examples on how the verb indicates an action. Example, Harshit is the best athlete. Athlete मतलब यहाँ पे subject हमारा कौन है? हर्षित है. और वो कैसा है? वो state of being है. यहाँ पे verb हमारा है is. What is the verb here children? It is and it is indicating an action. So Harshit is the best athlete is a state of being. John swims in the morning is an action. ठीक है. So now John हमारा subject है. Now what is John doing? He is swimming in the morning. So it is an action that John is doing. Who is our subject in this sentence? In the first sentence, Harshit is the best athlete is just stating his, what is Harshit? Like state of being of Harshit, who is the subject in the first statement. In the second sentence, John is our subject who swims in the morning. That means he is doing some action, and what is that action? It is swimming. Third sentence, Sneha became the head of commerce department. It is an occurrence, means what has Sneha been designated to? She has become the head of commerce department, which is an occurrence. Now children, because of the above finite verbs, what are the finite verbs in the above sentences? Is, swims and became, a meaningful sentence is formed. So children, now you have understood what is a sentence and how it should be formed. Now let us understand a few more things about sentences. A sentence always will begin with a capital letter and it has to end with either a full stop or a question mark or an exclamation mark. Examples, books love I. Does this make any sense? This sentence, it doesn't make any sense. But the sentence, I love books. I am the subject and I love books. This is making some sense. Now, a few more examples, children, to make you understand clearly about whether a few statements are sentences or not. Bread, state whether the following are sentences or not. First, bread and butter. It is not a meaningful sentence. It is just stating something. It is just stating bread and butter. 2. Lily is the name of a pretty flower. Now this is a proper meaningful sentence. Why? Because we are getting to know that Lily is the name of a pretty flower. Now the third one, come here. Now come here is also a meaningful sentence because here the subject is you, which need not have to be specified when I am talking to you. Come here. So this is a sentence. This is an exclamatory sentence as we will come to read ahead. Fourth, the cat and. What about it? The cat and what? Nothing else is mentioned. So this is not a meaningful sentence. 5. The books are new. Yes, this is a meaningful sentence because it is stating that the books are new. Next, children, what is the time? This is an interrogative statement. It is asking what is the time. Number 7, comb his hair. Yes, this is also more or less a meaningful sentence. 8, is lost. Doesn't make any sense. It is not a sentence. 9, the baby is sleeping. We get to know ki baby, what is the baby doing? The baby is sleeping. 10, my friends and I. This is not a meaningful sentence because it is not telling anything what my friends and I are doing or what about my friends and me. Next, children, we will come to kinds of sentences. Now, as given in your Superb English Grammar book of class 6, there are 4 kinds of sentences. The first is imperative. Imperative means expresses commands and orders. Declarative means make statements or remarks. Third, interrogative. Interrogative, the word itself has the word interrogate. So interrogate means, children, to ask, पूछना. So interrogative means questioning words. Exclamatory. Exclamatory has the word exclamation. That means expressing strong feelings of joy, pain and sorrow. Next, children, we will study in detail about each of the sentences. The first one is assertive or declarative statement. Now, these simply state something. They start with a capital letter and end with a full stop. They may be affirmative or negative. Now, children, what is the meaning of affirmative? Affirmative means something in the positive sense. Now, let's see a few examples to make your concepts clear. Examples: Princess Diana was a charming and generous lady. Now, children, in this first sentence, we are talking about whom? We are talking about Princess Diana, who is our subject over here. And how was she? She was a charming and generous lady. Now, children, these words charming and generous, they are affirmative sentences or they are affirmative words. That means they are saying something very positive about Princess Diana, who is our subject in this sentence. Next, Mrs. Pratibha Patil was the first female president of India. Now, this statement is simply stating that Mrs. Pratibha Patil was the first female president of India. So, we are talking about our subject Mrs. Pratibha Patil and she was the first female president of India. Next, children, we should speak the truth. That means we should speak the truth is a declarative statement or an assertive statement. That means it is saying that we should speak the truth because it is a positive thing. Next, old habits die hard. This is also just declaring something like saying that old habits die hard. It is understood that old habits die hard. 4. He did not help me. Now, this sentence is saying that the subject he did not help me. That means he is saying or asserting or declaring that I was not helped by him. So children, as you can see in these 5 examples, these statements are just simply stating something about the subject in each of the sentences. They are all starting with a capital letter and ending with full stops, as you can see, and they may have something positive in them or negative in them. I hope this is clear to you, children. Next we go over to interrogative sentences. Now interrogative sentences, like I told you, these sentences, they ask questions. They end with a question mark. They ask questions like who, how, when, which, where, what, why, etc. So they are basically asking you some sentences. Now interrogative statements are always asking for some information. Now important thing to note, children, here, in an interrogative sentence, we place the verb before the subject. I will give you a few examples, like example 1, which suit will you wear for the meeting? Now children, first in this sentence, let us identify what is the subject. Here the subject is you. Now we are talking something about you. What are we asking? We are asking, this is an interrogative statement because the question word which is there. Now which suit will. Now will is the verb expressing the future tense. Why? Because we are asking, we do not know the answer yet. We are asking which suit will you wear for the meeting. So in this sentence, you is the subject and will is the verb expressing the future tense which is still unknown. Now children, we have to note will and shall are auxiliary verbs or helping verbs that are used to form the simple future tense in an interrogative sentence. Next, one more example to make things clear to you. When do you leave for your classes? So here again, children, what is the subject? First, we always have to identify the subject. So the subject here is you. And what is the verb here? Verb here is do. Now children, in our English grammar, the word do is a very complicated verb. It is also used as an irregular verb over here. Now irregular verbs, what are irregular verbs? They do not follow the usual rules of grammar for tense and past participle, which you will read in future topics ahead. Now the verb do has got 5 forms: do, does, doing, did and done. So children, what have we learnt in an interrogative sentence? That we will place the verb before the subject. Like over here, subject is you, so we have placed the verb will before it. And here in the second example, subject is you and we have placed the verb do before it. So this is, children, only in the case of interrogative sentences. Next, a few more examples of interrogative sentences. Why don't you listen attentively? Here again, children, we are placing the verb don't before the subject you. Now don't is also an irregular verb again here. Now second, will your parents allow you to go there? In this, your subject is your and the verb is placed before the subject in will. Only happens in the case of interrogative sentences. Next children, we come over to imperative sentences. Now children, imperative sentences, they make some request, give order or commands, advice or suggestion. Now they also end with a full stop. Example, please give me your books. Full stop. It is a request. Don't waste natural resources. It is giving an advice or a suggestion. Next children, a few more examples. Switch off the lights. This is again a command. It ends with a full stop. Always maintain silence in the library is a command. Ends with a full stop. Please help me carry these books. It is a request with the request word being please. Carry an umbrella as it may rain. Now this is giving an advice. It might rain, so carry an umbrella with you. Next important thing to keep in mind, children, is that imperative statements end with a full stop, but they can have an exclamation mark also. Like, for example, do not run like that. Stop is an exclamation mark which is put at the end of the statement of imperative statements. There are few examples like this, so keep it in mind. Next is exclamatory sentences. Now these sentences, they express sudden or strong feelings of joy, pain, sorrow or surprise. They end with an exclamation mark. Examples. Oh, what a pity that they can't even afford food. Wow, how beautiful this monument is. Alas, the great poet is no more. Now, these are all exclamatory sentences. Oh no, he is unwell is another example of exclamatory sentences. Now, children, let us do try out from your Superb English Grammar book. State whether these sentences are assertive, interrogative, imperative, or exclamatory. First, what a beautiful day it is, exclamation mark. So we immediately we can understand that it is an exclamatory sentence because there is an exclamation mark at the end of the sentence and it is expressing some some joy, like what a beautiful day it is. Point number 2, Geeta did not pluck the flowers. Now, the statement is declarative or assertive. Why? Because it is stating very clearly that Geeta has not plucked the flowers. She did not pluck the flowers. It is very assertive in the sense that Geeta did not pluck the flowers. Assertive means saying with some strong, agreement that Geeta has not plucked the flowers. Third, yuck, these vegetables are rotten. Now, yuck is a negative form of exclamation. It is showing disgust. So it is an exclamatory sentence. Chop the vegetables finely is imperative. That means it is telling us do something the way I am telling you. That means chop the vegetables finely. Next, will you chop the vegetables? Question mark. This is, children, there is a question mark at the end and it is a question word, will you. So interrogative sentence. Next, children, my mother chopped the vegetables finely. Now, what has my mother done? She has chopped the vegetables finely. So I am asserting or declaring that the vegetables have been chopped very finely by my mother. I hope these are clear, children. This is from your exercise. Now I will give you a few more examples so that you can understand. Go there, imperative. Virat hit the ball over the field, declarative. Why? Because it is saying where Virat has hit the ball. Where is your father? Question mark is there and where question word is there. So interrogative. Hooray, we have won the match is exclamatory. Why? Because hooray is an exclamation of joy and there is an exclamation mark here. Next, what time is it? Question mark, interrogative, because question mark is there and what is the questioning word. 6, get up and get ready is imperative. That means it is an order or saying that get up and get ready, imperative sentence. Next, close the windows now is again imperative because I'm asking you to do something. I'm giving you a command. Close the windows now. I am proud to be an Indian is again declarative. Why? Because it is declaring that I am stating that I am very proud to be an Indian. Number 9, who is waiting at the gate is again interrogative. Why? Because question mark and questioning word who. 10, please give me your sharpener is imperative. That means it is a request. 11, is the match over? Interrogative because there is a question mark and it is asking something which we don't know the answer to. 12, be careful while going down the stairs is imperative. That means it is saying that you have to be very careful while going down the stairs. 13, how is your family? Question mark, that is why it is interrogative and it has the question word how. 14, go to your room and study is imperative. Why? Because it is commanding us to go to our room and study. 15, where do you live is again interrogative because it is asking a question, where do you live? Now children, I have explained to you what is a sentence, why it is important in grammar and what identifies a sentence, and I've given you a few examples on the various kinds of sentences, and in this topic we have discussed your tryout 1 from your Superb English Grammar book. Children, if you like my video, please like, share and subscribe to my video. Thank you children. I will meet you in the next video where we will continue with this chapter. Thank you.